For those who have stepped forth into the enigmatic and complicated world of UFO research, they know that it is rife with division. But here, just like religion, we have another reason for the numerous splits, as the enigma really comes down to the individual human experience. The need for understanding our purpose and place among the planets and stars gave rise to religion from the very earliest of times. It is really no different today. In many cases, this need has been skewed to create a persuasion eliciting power and control, or at the very least, an audience. From Christianity to Scientology, the need and purpose are still being fed. In the case of the UFO, we simply need to look to the Raelian movement and the beliefs of the adherents of David Icke, Eric von Däniken, and Zecharia Sitchin, for example, to see this principle in action. There are many people who have claimed that they have been visited by aliens or beings from other dimensions. Some of these individuals understand that the visit may not be one based in physical reality, but they are the minority. The vast majority, like people who see ghosts and apparitions, believe in the data from experiences they encountered with their very own eyes. And why shouldn't they? One reason could be that many times these visions don't in fact come from the eyes at all, but from within the mind. It is often assumed the experiences are a visual representation of something on the physical plane. Experience, then, is a catalyst to religion and belief. We believe that what we have seen has external truth, and therefore we move on and develop ways to explain and interpret it. Often this develops into cults and religious structures, and from there into intolerance, a seemingly natural process elicited by humans for millennia. From the very first shaman who dwelled in a cave and induced an altered state with some peculiar plant or root, he has been able to see all manner of weird and wonderful things in realms much stranger than our own. The shaman believed what he saw. He had no classical reference, no scientific reasoning of our modern times. But still today, people believe what they see via experiences, which do not necessarily differ from the visions of the shaman. These beliefs are strong and willful, but we have to think the unthinkable and step outside any comfortable paradigms if we are to get to the truth, as there may yet be a fantastic and incredible explanation. How many of us can say that we have studied the human mind? How many have spent years truly delving into the history of these experiences? How many have grasped the truths of alchemy, Gnosticism, philosophy, and the world of the esoteric? Not many. Even Eliphas Levi, the author of Transcendental Magic, Its Doctrine and Ritual, was not an actual practitioner of the occult, and certainly a very small percentage of those who cling to physical realities for the tricks our evolutionary mind plays upon us have truly undergone any extensive research of their own. It is true, however, to note that once having an experience, many people embark on a vision quest, spending their energy and resources as well as their hard-earned money along the way. They eventually come to terms with these experiences one way or another. A negative impact occurs when an experiencer plays upon this element of the human nature and creates new realities and explanations. often placing themselves as a new Messiah figure. Some such figures tell us that we need to be free, to escape the chains of a society created and manipulated by the Illuminati or the shapeshifters, and then place themselves before us as the sacrificial lamb who will lead us into freedom. They are in fact setting themselves up as a new religious leader, manipulating the minds of potential followers, giving them explanations that somehow make sense to many less confident individuals in search of purpose and direction. Instead of suggesting that people think for themselves and find their own personal truths, they blaze a trail of publicity and make fortunes out of lies and deceit, while swelling the ranks of their followers who eventually lose all sense of self. No one can deny the facts of history, that secret societies have often taken hold of power and formed new nations. The Freemasons, the Jesuits, even the Illuminati have all been implicated in the struggle for power from those who went before. But to say these men are there because of their connection to otherworldly beings or aliens, even that they sacrificed children to Lucifer, is stretching the imagination. All men are capable of all things. Every man, woman, and child is a star. These are tenets rarely found in essays about Aleister Crowley, the great beast. But they are there, and without doubt Crowley himself was striving to achieve his own personal true will and evolution above and beyond all else that he is known for. Perhaps these tenets are the very reason people in positions of power will do almost anything to maintain that power and increase it. In fact, they will also steer their disciples away from themselves and the notion that they too can become empowered in their own right. These efforts may indeed involve creating or continuing age-old rituals and systems that appear strange to us today. Regardless, the truth points back to the manipulation of the mind. The fact is that psychologically uneducated masses do and will believe in all manner of phenomena, and this human tendency has been used and abused by those in power for millennia. It began with natural forces, then various deities and idols, and today we are fed paranormal and otherworldly tricksters via the beacon of a one-eyed monster called the television. Before mass media, strange experiences were classified as religious or spiritual experiences. Today we are being led into alien, even quantum explanations for a phenomena that knows no limits or boundaries. Today we watch the TV screen and see the exploits of Mulder and Scully on the X-Files, and more recently, in the past several years, a wide variety of other weird and wonderful entertainment programs. Today, as a partial side effect, our experiences flow out as aliens, UFOs, spirits, and even interdimensional realities. The only thing that has changed in all these thousands of years is the explanation for the experience. The only thing that has remained is the experience itself, yet we have no true foundation from which to attempt to understand it. And so our search needs to focus on the experience itself and not on the many faceted explanations that have developed over time. Having said that, we in no way shall discount any of the explanations that man has derived over the years. Instead, we are simply stating that due to the evidence we presently have, the only truth that we can still rely upon is the experience. We must wipe the slate clean and revisit this quandary now in perfect neutrality. If, after all this, we find evidence for ghosts, spirits, interdimensional beings, and even aliens, then so be it. We have done the task in truth and honesty. So what is this experience? It arises from the connecting point between the conscious mind, which struggles diligently to comprehend everything around it, and the unconscious mind, which absorbs, reacts, and controls our unconscious actions, such as breathing. The unconscious mind remains a mystery, because we are simply not conscious of it. We must imagine what it is like inside this huge domain on the other side of our daily realities. And yet, within this other world there lies a whole lifetime of information, input, and experience, a great deal of which we are not even aware of, nor do we remember consciously. All the information we have ever been subjected to and more is hidden away in this remarkable realm. Occasionally, people recall their encounters in this strange world in dreams, and more interestingly, lucid dreams, whereby